Welcome to this week's Moonlight of Emuna, Parsha Shlach. This week's learning should be a schus for Fush Lema Finus and Feitel ben Yehudis, Yudah Menachem ben Rechon per Malkaleya, Shmuel Shei Zalmin, Chevachava Menachem Mordechai ben Ophira, and Lila Nishmas, Charna Masha bas Menachem Mendel, Ratza bas Menachem Mendel, and Hani bas Yechiel Mechel. So Parsha Shlach is a somewhat depressing Parsha. It's a depressing Parsha in that we know the Gemara in Tainus on Daf Chav Tes tells us that because the Jewish people cried after the Meraglim come back with their report on Eretz Yisrael, and they cried, Hashem says, you cried for no reason. I'll make this a day of crying for the rest of Jewish history until Mashiach comes, which should hopefully come very soon. So we see this is the beginning of mourning, of the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, of the tragedies. And we know all the tragedies throughout Jewish history stem from the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. So it's a very devastating parsha. The question on the parsha, which is asked by so many mefarshim and throughout the generations, is what did the Meraglim really do wrong? Right? We start off the parsha. Moshe tells them. If you look at the beginning of the parsha, after we have the names of the people that were being sent, Moshe tells them, starting in Perik Yud Gimel Pasuk Yud Zayin, Vayishlach Moshe Moshe Losor Zaretz. Moshe sent them to spy on the land, Eretz Canaan. Vayomer Leim Alu Zeh B'Negev Alisam El Lahar. Go up in the south, climb the mountain, Arisam Es Haaretz, and go check out the land. Mahi V'Sa'am HaYoshev Aleh, and go check out the people that are there. Hachazaku Harafa Amatim Hu Imrav. Go see if they're strong or weak, if they're few or numerous. And he goes on to say, and check out the land. Is it a good land? And the cities, are they open? Are they fortified? And is the land fertile or lean? Are there trees or not? Right? And that's what Moshe asks them to do. And when the Meraglim come back, you go a few psukim later, Pasuk of Zayin, they tell them, Yisarpele v'yemru banu el aretz, we came to the land of Shlachtanu that you sent us to. V'gam zavas chol v'dvashi v'zeh pirya, and it's flowing with milk and honey, and these are its fruits. Efes ki az ha'am ha'yoshev aretz v'aram b'tzuras gedolos, but the people that dwell there are powerful. The cities are fortified. Gedos moed v'gam yaldei anak rinasham. We saw the offsprings of the giants. Amalek yoshev aretz hanegev. Amalek is in the south, and then it says the Chiti, Yevusi, Amori are in the north. Aknani yoshev alayam, right? And the Knani are there. It sounds like they did the job that Moshe sent them for, right? Moshe told them go check out the land. Moshe tells them, come back, bring us a report. Tell us about the land. Tell us about their armies. Tell us about their cities, their fortifications. And it sounds like the Meraglim did exactly what Moshe told them to do. So what was the terrible crime that brought about all this devastation throughout Jewish history? So I saw a beautiful idea from the Lubavitcher Rabbi, and it's a very, very simple idea, and maybe we know this, but the Chazar is always good to get into the mind space. So he says, really, the mistake up to that point, there was no mistake. They were reporting what they saw. It's the next psukim, Pasuk Lamed and Lamed Aleph, that tell us where their mistake was. In Pasuk Lamed it says, Vayas Kalev Yisa'am el Moshe, and Kalev silenced the people towards Moshe. Vayomer al Oloi Nale v'Yarashnu Oisa ki Yachol Nuchala. We can surely ascend and conquer it, and we can surely do it. That's Kalev, right? The spies to this point, they didn't do anything wrong. They come back with the report that Moshe asked them to bring back. Okay, maybe they seem a little bit nervous about it, but so far they're just making the report. But now in Pasuk Lamed Aleph, they make their mistake. Va'anoshim asher olu imais, the other Meraglim who went up with Kalev said, Amru, loy nuchal lalois el ha'am. We cannot ascend to that people, ki chazaku mimenu, because they are stronger than us. And that's when the pasuk tells us in Lamed Beis, "Vayetziu dibas aretz asher Torah isel bnei Yisrael." Then they brought their report, their evil report, to the Jewish people, and that's when the people end up, and they say that we were like grasshoppers in their eyes, and that's when the people started crying. At the beginning of Perik Yudalad, the people started crying. That was their mistake. When they assessed the situation, Moshe Rabbeinu sent them to Eretz Yisrael, and he sent them to bring back a report. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to know what's going on in Eretz Yisrael. How do we approach Eretz Yisrael? That when they came back and brought that report, Eretz Zalvas Cholet Vash, they're very strong. The Amaleki live in the south. The Chivi live there also in the mountains. That's all great. That's the report. But when Kalev says we'll be able to conquer it, we saw it. Yes. It seems like a big task, but we'll be able to do it. When they said we cannot do it, because they're stronger than us, that was their mistake, and that's what leads to the people crying when the people made the mistake. And so, what was that mistake? So explains Lubavitcher Rebbe. Wait, just let's back up a second before the explanation. Besides the fact that this brought about the crying and all of the tragedies throughout Jewish history, but this also made it that Hashem said, the Jewish people said to Hashem, We would have been better off dying in Egypt, right? Our wives and our children will be taken captives. That's the beginning of Perek Yud Daled. And Hashem says, okay, you're going to be here for another 39 years. They're supposed to go into Eretz Yisrael 40 days later. And Hashem says, now you'll be here for another 39 years. So the Blavitcher Rabbi explains, the crime that the Meraglim made, that they did, was not that they came back and reported, like we just explained. They didn't that they reported what the situation that they saw. That was their job. That was what they were supposed to do. It was the fact that they came to their own conclusions. They came to their own conclusions. They saw that there was going to be a lot that they were going to face. And they therefore they made the conclusion, we aren't able to do it. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't send them to come back with conclusions. They were supposed to come report the facts on the ground. Tell us what's going on. And then we'll make tactical decisions. I'll talk to Hashem. I'll ask Hashem how He wants us to approach this. We'll speak to the generals. We'll come up. Their job, the Meraglim's job, was just to come back and report the facts. They went on a fact-finding mission. It wasn't their job to come back with recommendations. Hashem never asked them for recommendations. Moshe never asked them for recommendations. Moshe gave them the task, you come back, report the fact. Then we'll sit and figure out tactical things, and if we need miracles, we'll rely on Hashem for miracles. Hashem told us that we're going to take this land. So I know we're going to take this land. I have to do my hishtadlus. Hashem tells you to do something. You have to go about to the best of your abilities to do it. Whether it'll be accomplished or not, that's not up to you. That's up to Hashem. Hashem said we're going to conquer the land. The results are already set. Hashem said we will succeed. There's no question about whether we're going to succeed. You have no right to say that we can't take this. Hashem said we're going to take this. My job as the leader of Klal Yisrael, with my generals, is to get the facts on the ground, come up with the best, by the laws of nature, derech hateva approach, hishtadlus of how we're going to approach this. But I know that the results are going to be that we're going to win. Who told you to assess whether we could win or not? Hashem told us we're going to win. If we can do it b'derech hateva, so we're going to try our best to do it b'derech hateva. If we can't, then Hashem will perform miracles. Hashem said, do it, and that we're going to be successful. That's the end of the story. I just want to know, how do we approach our chiyuv of hishtadlus? That's what I sent you for. Come back with your tactical report. Come back with your facts on the ground report, and I'll come up with a plan that's going to be the best possible plan b'derech hateva. If we can't do it b'derech hateva, so then great, it'll happen b'derech nes. It'll happen with miracles. It's not relevant from your perspective whether you think we can do it or you think that there's some natural way we could do this. You don't have, that wasn't your job. And the truth is, as we always say here, that every word of Torah is relevant. This is not just some story that happened 3,400 years ago. Every story in the Torah is meant to teach us a lesson. The truth is, we have this all the time. Hashem set us up in this world, and there are certain things we're supposed to do, certain mitzvahs that we're supposed to do at different times, and just day-to-day life, what we're supposed to do to support our families, what we're supposed to do about taking care of our physical life and things that are going on in our lives. And we often look at them and say, it's too difficult. It's impossible. How can I do that? How can I ever reach that? But that's not our job. We forget. We make the same mistake. We make the same mistake that the Meraglim made. Our job is to say, Hashem told me to do this. Therefore, my job is to figure it out, assess the situation, figure out the best way I can approach this, and the results are in Hashem's hands. They're not up to me. Hashem doesn't, we have no control over the results. The only thing I can decide, Hashem says, get up in the morning and go to daven. It's hard for me to focus. Our job is to do the best we can, to try the best we can. Our job is to learn Torah. It's hard for me. I don't have the head for it. You put in the effort you can. That's our job. Our job is not to focus on the results. The Meraglim's mistake was, and what the people, when they took the report from the Meraglim, mistake was, they started to assess the results. That's not our job. We have a mitzvah to support our families. That requires hishtadlus. Whatever a person's hishtadlus is, whatever the amount of hishtadlus is, that's a long topic. But we have a mitzvah to do hishtadlus. That has nothing to do with the amount of money we bring home and how we put the food on the table. Our job is that we have to go out and do something to try to earn a living, to try to bring b'derech hateva. But a person looks at it and says, oh, it's too hard, it's this, how am I going to ever... Your job is to go out and try. The results Hashem is taking care of. That's where our Emuna and B'tachon. The results are not up to us. You have people in the same. You could have two people with the same job or two people in the same business, and one's successful, one's not. Each one's job is to do the hishtadlus that he can do, b'derech hateva. The results are in Hashem's hands, and not to start to think that I could have done this, I should have done that. That's not our thing. We assess the situation like the Meraglim were sent in. We make the best plan of attack based on our abilities and what we can do. We put in our best effort, and then we wait for Hashem to bring us the results. And we know that Hashem will bring us the results because He's the one who gave us the family that we have to feed. He's the one who gave us the body that has to be healthy. He's the one who wants shidduchim. He's the one who wants us to have children. He's the one who wants us to raise the children a certain way. We put in our best efforts, and how those results come about, we leave to Hashem. And the more we rely on Hashem to do that, the easier that comes. Had the Meraglim come back and reported, and then Moshe would have made a tactical plan, 40 days later they would have been Eretz Yisrael. What got in the way? What gave us the 39-year delay and all the tsaras that come later? Because we started to try to figure out, the Meraglim and then the Jewish people tried to figure out the results. That is not our business. That is not our place. Our place is assess the situation, figure out what Hashem wants from us right here, and come up with the best plan with our abilities and our talents and our resources. What will be the end of it? That's not us. That's not in our hands. That's not what we're supposed to be focused on. Our focus is, what does Hashem want me to do in this situation? What does Hashem want me to do with the abilities He gave me and the resources He gave me? What's the best plan that He wants me to go ahead? And then I don't think about it anymore, and I don't worry about it anymore, and I don't concern myself with the results, because Hashem takes care of the results, and Hashem promised us that He'll take care of us. And if you think about it, let's say you have a boss and an employee. Would the boss ever give the employee a task that he knows is impossible for the employee to finish? I mean, maybe you have bosses that are cruel like that, but that would be a very inefficient way to run a business, right? You only give somebody a task that you know they can finish, that they can accomplish. You don't ask your kid, to when you're teaching your child how to ride a bicycle, you don't ask him to ride a 15-mile ride on day one, right? You give him tasks that you know he's capable of. Maybe he needs to push himself beyond what he's comfortable with, but you don't give him a task that you know is impossible for him. Same thing with a boss and an employee. You may push your employee to go a little bit further than he's gone till now because you know he has that talent and you're trying to bring it out, but you're not pushing him beyond that. You would never give a task. You'd be a terrible boss or a terrible parent or a terrible anybody to give somebody a task that you knew was impossible. Now, if that's true for a human being, for a human boss, for a human parent, so you think that HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows exactly. See, a parent maybe can make a mistake. I think my kid is ready for this, but maybe he's really not, right? I wouldn't give him the task unless I believed he can do it, but I don't know 100% sure that he can, so I try to push him. Same thing with a boss. I might try to push him. Maybe he doesn't have the talent for that. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows every single one of our abilities and talents and everything that we're capable of. He's the one who created us. He's the one who gave us this. Therefore, while you could say by a parent or a boss that they may make a mistake, it's not possible to say by Hashem. There's no such thing as a miscalculation. And therefore, if Hashem gives us something in our lives, whether it's something good or whether it's something challenging or whether it's some difficulty, it means He knows that this is exactly what we can handle and what's best for us to handle in this moment. And therefore, we approach it saying, okay, I don't see how this is possible. I'm not sure how this is going to happen, but this is what Hashem wants from me right now. So I'm going to do as much as I can push myself to do, and then I'm going to rely on Hashem for the results, because Hashem is the one telling me this. This challenge feels overwhelming at the moment, and I don't know how I'm going to get it all done, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to daven to Hashem. I'm going to try to make the calls, whether it's for parnasa or health. I'll call the doctors, or I'll call investors, or whatever I'm going to do. To me, it might seem like it's impossible, but I know that Hashem wouldn't present me with this. It was impossible. So I do the parts I can, and then I look to Hashem for the results, because He wouldn't give me something that I can't deal with. And therefore, if Hashem gives us a mitzvah, or He gives us something that we have to deal with in life, we know that it's absolutely within our ability to do the best we can, and then he takes care of the rest. We're not expected to do more than we can. We're expected to do as much as we can. So this is really the lesson from the Meraglim, and it's such an important lesson. It's a lesson that we face, whether we realize it or not, thousands of times every single day. Everything we're confronted with, this lesson is what we need to know. My job is not to bring in the results. My job is to do as best as I can, as much as I can, push myself as hard as I can, and then I rely, and I have full, relaxed, Yishuv Das, calm, relying on Hashem. He will take care of the rest. And that's the lesson we have to learn from the Meraglim. That's the mistake. These were holy people, but that's the mistake they made, and that's the mistake that the people who heard their report made, except for Kolev and Yeshua and the select few, which we have to learn from. Not to make that mistake, not to cheshbon out, is it possible, is it not possible? This is what Hashem wants from me right now. This is what I'm going to do to the best of my ability, and then I can be calm and relaxed and know that I'm in Hashem's hands. I wish you all a beautiful, wonderful Shabbos.